Hey there guys, Corey here with Gottabemobile, and we have the brand new Nexus 6 next to the recently announced and released Motorola DROID Turbo for Verizon Wireless. Now we've been showing a lot of phones off, showing the sizes, between phones, and something like the Galaxy S5 that's obviously not quite as big, but still pretty big. But what we want to do here is just a quick size comparison with the Nexus 6 and Motorola's latest Verizon DROID. A lot of people have been asking questions about it. We've been comparing it to multiple devices like the the Note 4 and other things like that. But people that are kind of interested in getting a Verizon phone, since this is the first Nexus in a long time to be available on Verizon, you may want to know how they stack up, how the new DROID Turbo looks and sizes compared to the brand new Nexus 6. So as you all know, the Nexus 6 is big. It's a big phone. There's nothing else to say. I mean, come on. It's got a large 5.96-inch display, but if you've ever used a Note 3, a Note 4, or even the new iPhone 6 Plus, they're about the same size. I mean, even though this is a bigger screen than the Note 3 and Note 4 and dual front-facing speakers, it's still, roughly the same size. So that's kind of a plus. You get a big screen, better speakers, all kind of in the same form factor. But that's the two of them. To be honest, I think the DROID Turbo actually might feel a little heavier. But that is because it's got a massive 3,900 milliamp hour battery in there. But this does have a 5.2-inch Quad HD display, which is the same Quad HD resolution as the Nexus 6. But of course, being on a smaller screen, it should technically look a lot better. But they both have great screens. They're both, have good solid speakers. There's only one speaker on this. It's at the top, but it is front facing. I don't know why Motorola decided to do that. But give you a quick look at the two. We know a lot of people kind of are debating these two if you're on Verizon, or maybe that Moto X. But here it is, the DROID Turbo next to the Nexus 6. They're very similar kind of in look and feel a little bit with the cameras and kind of the curves on the sides, but obviously much different here with the DROID Turbo. But kind of give you a look. They're pretty similar in terms of thickness, and that's because this has a big 3,900 milliamp hour battery, but it might be actually a little thicker. It feels thicker in the hand. That's because Motorola and the Nexus 6 has this nice subtle curve that kind of makes it easier to hold. This is definitely, going to be a little easier to hold in your hand just because it is a smaller screen. It's not as wide, not as tall. But without getting into hardware and software and specs and everything too much, we just wanted to quickly show off the two. I mean, it's not as long and it's not as wide, and the thickness is quite similar. But overall, there's not a major difference. Try to line that up a little better. But there it is. Yeah, they're both great phones here. This is the new Motorola DROID Turbo next to the Nexus 6. They'll both be available on Verizon. This is available now, the DROID Turbo, for $199 with 32 gigs of storage on a contract, or $249. And we're expecting the similar $199 price range for the Nexus 6. But so far, there's no release date for the Verizon Nexus 6. We know most other carriers in the U.S. are going to have it around November 12th with T-Mobile, and then later in the month for other carriers. But so far, from what it sounds like, Google's kind of made it sound like all carriers in the U.S. will have the Nexus 6 by the end of the month, except they didn't mention Verizon. So that might be a little bit late. You might have to wait till December to get that, so you can get the DROID Turbo now or wait for the Nexus 6. But there it is, without getting into it too much, just a quick look and size comparison between these two awesome phones. Thanks for watching, guys.